Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Arlene. Today we're making an open face tuna melt. Yep, we're making tuna today. This recipe, if you want to make it for your kids, I used to make it for my kids all the time, but instead of mushrooms, I would use just regular bread. Okay, always keep that in mind. As always, check in the description box. I get this question asked on almost every video. Can I get this recipe written? It is. Check in the description box. There's a little triangle right underneath my name on the right side. Click on it. The recipe, the breakdown, and the measurements show up. Everything you need to know about this recipe is in that little box. Okay? Let me give you the ingredients. The first thing we're gonna need is Portobello Mushroom Caps, and I'll show you how to clean them and treat them before we start cooking. We're gonna need some sliced tomatoes. I'm using the little cherry tomatoes because I didn't have any other tomatoes, but the Roma tomatoes are a little bigger and easier to cut. I suggest using those instead of the itty bitty ones, but if you have the little ones, use whatever you have. This is a no fuss meal, okay? We're gonna do canned tuna, and I'm using the one in the pouch because I don't have to drain it, but if you have the one in the can, just drain it. It's the same thing. I'm pretty sure I'm paying for the lack of water on this. Some Parmesan cheese, the regular one. I'm using the reduced fat because that's all I buy. Some onion powder, some capers, and I find these where the olives are, and they're just smaller olives, but very salty. These are really good, and they don't have the seed inside. These are super salty if you're craving the salt. If you don't have capers, use olives. Just chop them really small. No big deal. Some light mayonnaise, and I'm using just regular light mayonnaise. It has to be light though. And some 2% provolone cheese. That's it. Let's get started. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna clean our mushroom caps, and I'm gonna remove the stem. And with the spoon, I'm just gonna remove the gills. I'm just gonna throw them here in my sink. And don't play with it too much. You don't want it to lose the firmness. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Let me show you. See? Now I'm gonna do the next one. Same thing. I'm gonna remove the stem. And with the spoon, I'm gonna remove the gills. Now that my mushrooms are clean, I'm gonna weigh them and make sure that what I have is enough for my lean and green. I already weighed mine, and this is what I need. This one is pretty big, and this one is a little smaller. That's why they're not the same. Just make sure that what you have is what you need for your lean and green. It could be 3 mushroom caps, it could be 2, or if you're using the really big ones, it might even be just 1. Make sure you measure. Okay, I already measure, and I know that I'm gonna do 2 for my recipe, for just 1 lean and green. I'm gonna put those aside. Now I'm gonna grab my tuna, and I already separated it with a fork. To that, we're gonna add our capers. Our Parmesan cheese. And our onion powder. And before mixing, we're going to add the light mayonnaise. It's going to be 1 1/2. And we're going to combine this really good. Now for my husband, I know he likes jalapenos, and this has only 2 greens. So I'm gonna add some jalapenos for his, not for mine, because I'm not a jalapeno girl. I like a little something, but I want to taste my food. He doesn't care. He wants jalapeno. Okay, this is well combined. Let me show you. There we go. Since I know I only have 2 mushroom caps for me, I'm just gonna separate my tuna into 2. If you have 3 mushroom caps after you weigh, then you're gonna divide your tuna into 3 or 4 or however many is it that mushrooms that you can have. Since I know I can have only 2 today, for this recipe, I'm gonna do 2 little mounds. Woo. My kids used to love this recipe. I used to make this for them on gymnastics day or baseball days or soccer days. One of those busy days, I used to make this for lunch for them. Last night I was thinking about it and I said, I want to make me a tuna melt. And then the other half, I'm going to put it in the bigger mushroom cap. Make sure I use everything, no wasting. And if you're gonna do jalapeno or even celery, I'm gonna put the measurements on the description box just in case you wanna add the extra green. If you had something else throughout the day that it had an extra green, just do the recipe as is. Okay, my mushroom caps are nice and filled. Looks so good. Now I'm gonna grab the provolone cheese, and I know that I have to have 3 slices to complete my lean and green. This is what I'm going to do. I got my 3 slices. I'm going to put my tomatoes over the tuna. And I know I got to use all this because I already weighed it. If it doesn't fit in my mushroom caps, I'm just going to put it on the side and we're going to eat it. Not eating enough is as bad as eating too much. You know that. Okay. This is such a pretty dish and so easy. So pretty. Okay, I have a few left. We're gonna eat them. Now I have my 3 little slices. I'm gonna put one over my big portobello and the other one, and they're nice and round, that's the good thing. The other one over this one, and then I have one left. I'm gonna cut it in half because we gotta eat it. And put it there. That's part of your lean and green. You're counting it. It's gotta go in there. Okay, the portobello mushrooms are stuffed. I have a cookie sheet that I lined with foil paper just because it's easier on cleaning, but you don't have to have the foil paper. The important thing is the cookie rack. We're gonna place it over top. Place our portobello mushrooms over the cookie rack. This does is it allows the hot air to go through the entire mushroom, and the mushroom liquids are not going to bake in the mushroom. And the consistency of your mushroom is going to stay the same, but it's going to be crispy all the way around, simulating the bread. Okay, I'm going to put this in a 375-degree oven for about 15 to 20 minutes, depending when the cheese melts. I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Yum. Look at these beautiful babies. It took exactly 15 minutes. And you see the consistency of the mushroom, the integrity of the mushroom is still there. It's not mushy at all. It's kind of crispy. Beautiful. Now when you eat this, be very careful. Let it sit for a few minutes because the cheese is super hot and it'll stick to your palate. I'm just going to put some jalapenos on it. And there you have it, guys. My version of an open-faced tuna melt. Yum. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you on my next video. Enjoy.